I know you dabbled in comedy, but this is the first time that I feel that you're kind of doing a flat-out, full-on comedy. What was it about this one that you were like, okay, this is going to be the comedy film that I'm going to be a part of?
Well, I wanted to do it for a while, but I was just waiting for the right opportunity with the right group of people, and Will and Adam had actually approached me. And before they even told me what the idea was of the part that I'd be playing, I said I'm in, because I felt like these are the best guys doing comedy, and I would be in good hands. Like you said, I've always tried to add comedic elements to the performances that I've done, but being in a flat-out comedy is different. Although I still tried to play everything very real. My commitment to even the most absurd moments in the movie are still very sincere, but from that comes a lot of funny moments.
Do you feel that you have the best poker face on set, or was it very difficult for you to kind of?
I've got a pretty good poker face, but it's tough with Will. I mean, I kind of actually was secretly training myself to keep a straight face while we were rehearsing or hanging out, but he's pretty damn funny.
What kind of stuff would he use to kind of like throw you off? Would he try to like do stuff to throw you off? Or?
Well, we were constantly improvising and throwing curveballs at one another. So in literally every scene that we did, we would shoot a scripted version of the scene, and then we would just throw it all away and just do whatever came to mind.
Adam mentioned in the press conference that he would get people with one-lines to kind of really give you a hard time, like during these scenes. Like, what would he do to kind of make you?
I mean, they would do anything that they could.
Really?
Yeah.
And did it work, or?
At times, but I was pretty focused on what I was doing. So.
Now, this film is also an action film too. So, was it easier to kind of? Is it hard to kind of throw in the comedic elements while there's other stuff going on, or did you find that it was really easy?
No, because I think, like Adam was saying earlier in the press conference, if you just tweak things in one direction or another, they can become very funny and very absurd anyway. So no, again, and I played it all very real, no matter how absurd it was.
One of my favorite scenes is the first time you meet Ava Mendes's character, and so she's kind of kooky, and so kind of to have these three different type of energies working at the same time. How do you kind of play off each other, and are you observing, or are you kind of like staying in character? Like what kind of?
Well, I was in character, and I was just staring at her breast the whole time. I mean, that's my character. I don't think my character ever heard a word she said. I was just staring at her, and of course in shock and disbelief that this gorgeous woman is married to this crazy guy.
Are you a fan of Anchorman and all the other work that Adam has done? What do you think he brings to the table as a comedic director and a writer?
Gosh, I think the only thing wrong with Adam is that he doesn't put himself on camera and on screen enough. I mean, he's so funny. I've always said Will is probably the funniest guy in movies, and Adam's probably the funniest guy that should be doing movies. Yeah, I've been a big fan of their work, and for them to come to me and say, hey, we want you to be in this movie, and for them to write this part specifically for me was really an honor.
Cool. When you're working with somebody like Will, what kind of preparation, does he prepare, or like what kind of?
There were some, we did some rehearsals. What we did is we basically, we did a read through of the whole script, and then as other parts were being cast, we did another read through for most of the cast, crew, and the studio. And then as people were being cast, we would kind of spend time with each person who was brought on, like Michael Keaton and other people like that. So we would kind of talk about scenes and maybe read one or two of them, but not much. We wanted everything to kind of stay fresh, so when we got on set, it would feel new.
When you, in the press conference, you said that maybe you weren't ready to do something like this until now. And so what is it about this period in your time that you feel that you're able to, poke fun of yourself and stuff?
Well, I'm a dad, so once, you can't take yourself too seriously, I mean, I play make pretend. I'll do anything my kids want me to do. And that's basically what my job is anyway, but especially coming from the music world, and trying to be a tough guy and that whole thing, and coming from the neighborhood that I came from, you're always very self-conscious. And you wanted yourself to only be shown in a cool light, and I kind of let that stuff go.
To be able to be at this place then, are you going to try things that maybe you were maybe not afraid, but kind of cautious about taking on?
Yeah, I definitely want to try new things every time out. I'm looking for something new and challenging and interesting to do.
Have you done anything, for example, other than this film that maybe you're even surprised yourself since like another role that kind of?
Well, Boogie Nights was certainly a time in my career when I had to decide, okay, am I going to be a real actor? It was the one thing to play the tough guy in Basketball Diaries or the crazy guy in Fear, but to step out of my comfort zone and to play somebody that was vulnerable and innocent and naive, that was definitely a turning point for me. You know, and there have been a few others.
Now that you've been in a comedy, are you ready to like continue on to do more comedy, and are you ready to be like the funny guy and have somebody else play the straight guy for the next, you know?
Yeah, I mean, me and Will kind of talked about it, you know. Everybody assumes because it's me and him in a movie that I'm playing the straight guy, but my character is kind of more absurd than his. You know, I'm the one doing ballet and, you know, become obsessed with dancing and as a traffic cop and all these other things. But, you know, yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoyed the process, and I would like to try to do more.
The line, "The peacock must fly," is probably going to be one of the most quoted ones in the film. And so, who came up with that, and how often, you know, would you say that was that like a tagline, like even offset?
You know, they had written the line, and yeah, it was definitely something that I kind of latched onto right away. So I was saying it more often than I should. And also constantly talking about Alan, Will's wife, Sheila, Eva's character, even when it had nothing to do with the scene. I would just, after my character met her, any other scene after that where we were talking, I might just mention her or bring her up or ask about her.